second video of my YouTube channel called Maritime Skipper. Today we'll be talking about the United States ship Constellation, which actually I have seen during my February break. We'll be learning about some wars that has been post-war and where it is now. So, USS Constellation is a sloop of war, the last sail-only warship designed and built by the United States Navy. She was built at the Gosport shipyard between 1853 and 1855, and was named for the early frigate of the same name that had been broken up in 1853. The sloop's primary armament was 8-inch 203mm self-firing guns and 432-pounder long guns, though she carried other guns as well, including 2 Perry rifle chase guns. Constellation's career as a frontline unit was relatively short. After entering service in 1855, she served in the Mediterranean Squadron until 1858. In 1859, she was assigned as a flagship of the Africa Squadron, which she served with the African Slave Trade Patrol. During the American Civil War, 1861 and 1865, the ship returned to the Mediterranean to patrol for Confederate vessels. In late 1864, she returned to the United States to be decommissioned, and most of her crew's enlistments had expired. She spent the rest of her out of service. Sorry. Constellation was recommissioned in 1871 for use as a training ship, being used for swimming practice and training cruises for midshipmen. She filled this role for 22 years, and during this period, she saw a number of other activities, including transportation exhibits for the 1878 Exposition Universelle in Paris and carrying food to Ireland during the 1879 Irish famine. She was reduced to a stationary training hulk in late 1893, being moored at Newport for the next 20 years. During this period, the mistaken belief that the two constellations were one and the same arose, and she was presented as such in 1914 during the century of the writing of the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem of the United States or the U.S. Briefly renamed Old Constellation in 1917 to free the name from new battlecruiser of the Lexington class, she reverted to her original name when the battlecruiser was scrapped in 1925. Constellation was recommissioned in 1940 as part of the build-up in anticipation of the United States entry into World War II, during which she served the port flagship of the Commander Atlantic Fleet. So, if I could just... Here's the design and construction of the Constellation. From 1816 to 1830s, the Navy accumulated extensive stocks of live oak timbers for use in new warship construction under the provision of the Act for the Gradual Increase of the Navy of the United States, passing in 1816. In the early 1850s, the Navy decided to build a new sail-power ship using these existing stockpiles, calling for a sloop of war that would be fast, with a long endurance, and sufficiently armed to be capable of engaging other warships of her type. This would produce a capable warship while keeping costs low, since the material used was already on hand, and it had an expensive steam engine. Cost low since the material used was already on hand and an expensive steam engine would not be required. Chief constructor John Lenthal prepared the design along with Edward Delano to construction of the Gosport shipyard. In June 1853, Lenthal completed the hull half model, which was necessary to scale up the design to prepare the necessary hull timbers. During this period, the new vessel's namesake, Constellation, was in the process of being broken up a short distance away in the Gosport yard. Beginning in May 1853, work on assembling the timbers commenced as the shipyard workers prepared to start construction on the new sloop of war. The vessel's keel was laid on 25th June 1853 using material from the oak stockpile. Her stern post was erected on 27 August, and her stem followed a couple of weeks later. She was lost on 26 August 1854 at 11:45. Fitting out work then commenced, which included installation of her mast, rigging, and armament. Some characteristics was She is 881 feet, 55 meters long at the waterline, and 199 feet, 61 meters long overall. She had a beam of 41 feet, 12 meters at the waterline, and is 43 feet, 13 meters across her widest point. Her maximum draft is 21 feet, 6.4 meters at full load displacement, 1,400 long tons, 1,422 tons. The ship's crew numbered 21 officers and 265 enlisted men. That's actually, pretty nice for super war ship. In the original configuration, Constellation was armed with a battery of 16 8-inch, 203mm self-firing guns with 4 32-pounder guns mounted on her gun deck in the main battery. On her spar deck, she carried a pair of chase guns. A 30-pounder Parrott rifle was placed in the bow, and a 20-pounder Parrott rifle was placed in the stern. She also carried 3 12-pounder Bolt Hauser. Sorry. So some service history. Constellation was commissioned on 28 July 1855 under the command of Captain Charles H. Bell. She immediately departed for a tour of the Mediterranean squadron, like we said before in the beginning of the video, that lasted 3 years. During this period, she stopped in Malaga, Spain in July 1856 to protect American nationals in the area during a period of civil unrest. So that means people protesting. Like, if a country declares war on someone, and then they take over that city, it's going to have a high civil unrest. Because people are unhappy. Everyone's protesting. That's what civil unrest is. Later that year, she came to the aid of Barek in the Sea of Marmara. The ship received official thanks from the Emperor of Austria. On 17 April 1858, she left the Mediterranean squadron for a sole patrol in the Caribbean Sea to protect American shipping in the region. On 5 June, she returned to the New York Navy before proceeding to Boston. She was decommissioned on 13 August. Just a quick reminder, I'll be showing some pictures I took of the ship while I was at Baltimore, Maryland. So I will let you guys pause the video in order to read some of the facts I took. Some facts may be colorful a little bit due to the size of the board when I was there, but no worries, right? Like I was saying, in June 1859, she recommissioned for service to the Africa Squadron, where she served as the squadron flagship under the command of Captain Thomas Aloysius Dornan. She arrived off the mouth of the Congo River on 24th November, where she began operating as part of the African Slave Trade Patrol. As part of its efforts to end the Atlantic slave trade, the Navy awarded prize money for each slave ship capture, along with a $25 bounty for each slave that was freed. These prizes were divided among the crew based on rank. On 29 December, she captured a brig, the Lycia, that no papers were fitted to carry slaves in the hold. On 26 September 1816, Constellation captured a Barak Cora, which has 705 slaves aboard, who were then released from Monrovia, Libya, which I believe is the capital of Liberia. Liberia. Yep, it is the capital. The Navy impounded Korea sold at auction. Continuing on. Restoration and museum ship. During the initial reconstruction, the radio ship for use as a museum and under the mistaken impressions, then in 1797 frigate and 1854 sloop were the same vessel. The workers reconfigured Constellation to resemble the 1797 vessel. During this period, she designed a National Historic Landmark on 23 May 1963 and was placed on the National Register of Historic Places 15 October 1966. In 1968, she was moved to Baltimore's Inner Harbor, which I was, like I said before, more than Constellation dog. Like I said before, sorry for the words. You are completely free to pause the video and read some of the notes I took in this ship. Continuing on, by the 1990s, Constellation was in poor condition, owing to a lack of maintenance for many years. Problems include a dry rot, compromised structural integrity, and significant 36 inches 91 centimeters of hogging in our keel. She was towed to a dry dock at Locust Point near Fort McHenry in 1996. $7.3 million rebuilding and restoration project was undertaken and completed in 1999. About half of our originally Bob Valley rotted road was replaced. The restoration was funded in equal shares by private donations for the city of Baltimore and state of Maryland. In 2014, the United States Postal Service issued a postal stamp commemorating the ship at the 150th anniversary of our launching. Its design was based on the vessel as depicted in 1893. On 26 October 2004, Constellation made a first trip out of Baltimore's in the Harbors in 1955 and her first to Annapolis since 1893. The trip to the U.S. Naval Academy Annapolis took about 8 hours and her visit lasted 6 days. Her ideas is available for public tours for 27 and 31 October. The vessel was towed to and from Annapolis as her rigging and ballast were not in condition and allowed her to sail on her own. 2011, significant rot was discovered in the ship's hull during routine maintenance. Many of the affected timbers have been installed during the refit in the 1990s. After raising funds to cover the cost of reconstruction, the ship was dry docked at the United States Coast Guard Yard just to the south of Baltimore in October 2014. Sorry. I lost my place again. For the raising funds to cover the cost of the reconstruction, the ship was dry docked at the United States Coast Guard Yard just to the south of Baltimore in October 2014. The project cost about $2 million and was completed in February 2015. Further repairs were necessary in mid-2016 after some hull planks were found to have rotted. The ship is now part of historic ships in Baltimore, which also operated the Coast Guard color WHEC-39, which is also nicknamed Tanning. There were two submarine USS Tusk, the lightship Cheapskate, which I did not see, but I did see USS Tusk, and the Semiphonor Lighthouse, which was closed when I was there. Constellation and companions were made to contribute elements in the Baltimore National Heritage Area. She was the last existing intact naval vessel from the American Civil War, and she was the last solely wind-powered warship built by the U.S. Navy. In identity controversy, I believe this is what is talking about the Constitution, which is which is a sister I believe, of the Constellation. Identity controversy. In addition to evaluating the half model, the researchers also reviewed all the evidence used in the debate today. With the help of FBI and BATF forensics investigators, they concluded that some 25 to 30 documents supporting the ship being a rebuild of forgeries. In 1991, they published the findings and conclusion that the current Constellation and original frigate are two different ships. The author did not agree with Chappell, however, over the nature of the new ship's construction. They pointed out that the act of gradual increase authorized the Navy to build new ships from the oak acquired on this provision, so there's no need to subject Congress's authority on the matter. Leonard summarized the report in a separate article published in 1993. In 1993, discussion of the origins of the frigate and Super Constellation, and concluded that thought not built in Baltimore in 1797, the present ship was the last sailing powered warship designed and built by the U.S. Navy. As such, it is a rare artifact of first importance and truly deserves to be preserved and displayed for the American public. For its part, the Historic Ships in Baltimore, the organization and operation museum of its Constellations of Power, does not present the ship as having been the original vessel. They instead acknowledge that the first vessel was broken up in 1853, presents the accounts providing by more recent additions of Dan F.S. Its predecessor's organization, the USF Constellation Foundation, has maintained an opposite policy until its board resigned in 1994 and was placed by advocates of the New Ship School of Thought. That was the quick but fun story of the USS Constellation. Hope you enjoy. Be sure to like and subscribe the video and add comments if you like. I see you next week and goodbye.